Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, giving you the State of the Saints podcast post-game show. The New Orleans Saints lose their third game in a row by a score of 28-25. Very heartbreaking loss, to say the least. A 61-yard field goal hits the crossbar, the sidebar, and bounces out. And the New Orleans Saints end up losing their third game in a row. You got to give the Saints team a lot of credit. These guys fought really hard. They battled. They grind. They did everything they possibly can do to win this game. And for them to lose in such heartbreaking fashion, I got to tell you, man, that's bad business right there. But you got to be honest. They showed a lot of heart today. Both sides of the football had their moments. Both sides of the football didn't have their moments. The big play, Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson to set up that go-ahead field goal, one-on-one, Justin Jefferson on Marshawn Lattimore. Jefferson wins that matchup, and it sets up that field goal for the Minnesota Vikings to go ahead and win the game. I don't know if they're looking at film. I don't know if they're just looking, not paying attention, but this was the same exact thing that happened in that wild card game a couple of years ago when the Vikings played the Saints. Kirk Cousins did the same exact thing. Like, he basically just seen that one-on-one coverage and heaved the ball up. He did it with Thielen in a wild card game, and he did it again today with Justin Jefferson. But people might talk about this game and say, man, the Vikings won. But I'm going to just be 100 right here. The NFL got to do something about these damn referees. I'm serious. They got to do something about these damn referees. I don't care what anybody says. I get back on my rant, but right now we got Dennis Allen going to the podium here. So let's see what he has to say, and we'll go from there.
Thought we made too many mistakes in the first half, which put us behind. But I thought our guys battled and competed. We still got to find a way not to hurt ourselves with penalties and the turnovers, and that's got to change. So we got to figure that out.
Yeah, you talked about that a couple weeks ago. How do you fix the turnovers and the penalties?
Well, look, I think we got to make a point of emphasis about it. I think we also got to look at, who's doing what and where. I wasn't a fan of some of the calls, but it hurt us in the game.
A point of emphasis, like what's that process of making it?
Well, look, we're gonna have to look at who's handling the ball. And the problem's been a little bit. It's been a multitude of players, and so we're gonna have to continue to evaluate that. We're gonna have to put in some more, turnover drills and things of that nature, and try to emphasize the point that we got to protect the football.
What about like the false starts? How do you guys maybe stop some of those kind of mistakes?
Yeah, look, I think that some of that's kind of the consistency of cadence and things of that nature. So I think that's part of it. Consistency of some of the people that are in there is part of it. So we'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at the tape and see where we can make corrections.
Did you think the field goal was good? The last one?
I did. I mean, from where I was standing, I thought it was going to be good. Obviously, I guess it hit off the left upright and then down on the crossbar and bounced the wrong way for us.
What was the conversations like on the side? I mean, 60 yards you were good with, or where was the kind of cutoff for you all?
Well, in that situation, we were in the position where we felt like we could make it. I think the field goal before was probably a little bit more discussion. And look, I give credit to Riz. He felt really good about Will knocking that thing through, and so we kicked the field goal, and Will, hit a beauty and knocked it through.
Coach, the two penalties on the drive that led to Minnesota's going ahead at the end, the PI on Marshawn at the end. Your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a tough call.
Yeah, outside of that, just what did you think of the third down numbers about with the defense trying to get off the field outside of the penalties? And I know the first drive, I think they were like 4 for 4 on third down.
Yeah. I think, we did a better job after the first drive. And then, there's a drive there in the fourth quarter that, we let them convert a couple that we don't really want to let them convert. So, again, we'll look at the tape. We'll make the evaluation, what we need to do better. I thought our defensive guys battled their tails off today. I thought they we put them in a couple of tough situations. And I thought they battled.
What do you think of Andy's effort to operate the offense?
Look, I thought overall pretty good, particularly in the second half. I didn't think we had great rhythm in the first half, but I thought we came out and played a little better in the second half. We ran the ball, I think, a little bit better in the second half too. So that's part of it. Yeah, I thought Latavius gave us a little bit of a spark. I thought there were some things that he did well, in the game. So that was good to see.
So obviously, a lot of people will compare. You had a different quarterback when they see some more points on the board this week. But did you think you guys had a better offensive plan or anything this week that contributed to that as well?
Well, I think that's part of it. I think just our guys kind of taking a look at what we've done over the first 3 weeks, seeing where we can improve. And I thought we did a better job, with some of the things that we were doing, particularly there in the second half, offensively.
What's the plan, Coach, between now and obviously next Sunday, a quick turnaround to your next game? You've got a long journey home. And a lot
Yeah,
of points.
we'll get back to New Orleans and try to get rested up a little bit and get ready to go for next week.
Do you guys feel like you're close to turning the tide?
I really do. Look, there was a lot of really good things. I told the team in there, there were some good things that we did today, but it's hard to overcome, some of those costly turnovers. And I think, the fake punt and the 2 turnovers, I think, led to 9 points. And in a game like that, those things are costly.
Should that punt be a fair catch, or are you mad about should he have not returned that, or how do you kind of?
Listen, I'm gonna look at the tape before I make an evaluation on that.
How concerning is 1-3 in and of itself? I mean, do you have to wrestle with things like spirits and confidence and stuff like that?
Look, I think we got a good group of guys in that locker room. We got some good veteran leadership. We'll bounce back from this. We certainly need to play better, and we need to turn some things around. But it's a long season. There's a lot of season left, and so we're going to keep battling. We're going to keep fighting.
What into Alvin, the decision with Alvin? Was that a setback you had this week?
No, it wasn't a setback. I just think, as you evaluate throughout the week, I think there was a little bit more pain and discomfort, really even last week. And again, this is a long season. And so you don't want to go through this cyclical thing where each week, it's an issue. And so, I think we felt like resting him this week, hopefully to be able to have him back for next week, gives him the best chance to be healthy throughout the year.
Was Jameis close at all to playing, or was this something you'll?
Yeah, I thought later in the week, he began to feel a little bit better. But I think there was a point in time where we felt like, well, we got to get Andy ready and have him ready to go.
And I assume that becomes another week-to-week evaluation.
Yeah, we'll see where his health is when we get back.
Can you talk, Coach, about this week as a whole in terms of coming over here on Monday? How's it been for you guys? I think very different.
Yeah, it was a work week. We came over here and worked. Thought we got some good things done. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win.
With 2 turnovers, the team showed resilience to came back to the game. What do you think that is a good thing for the team?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
He's asking. You thought the team showed some resilience coming back.
Yeah, I thought they did show some resilience. Unfortunately, we just didn't make enough plays to win the game.
You mentioned you felt like you guys didn't get into a rhythm offensively at the beginning of the game, but it's kind of been the story of the season. So, like, what do you think?
Well, look, yeah, I mean, listen, I think part of it is, we had a few guys that weren't in there. So you're playing without Alvin, you're playing without Mike Thomas, you're playing without Jameis. So there's some adjustment that has to go along with that. So, look, we're going to keep battling. We're going to keep fighting. We'll figure this thing out, and we'll play better football.
You also kind of touched on this earlier, but just regarding like the turnovers and the penalties, when that happens, do you reevaluate how you guys are practicing?
I think we look at everything. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to continue to look at everything that we're doing and see where we can try to improve. Okay, thanks.
So that was head coach Dennis Allen. After the Saints lost to the Minnesota Vikings, you can really tell. You can tell he's frustrated, but you got to give him credit. Standing up there answering all the questions. I mean, this is very heartbreaking. If you're a Saints fan, this is a heartbreaking loss. I mean, this is a game that you definitely needed. This is a game that could have put you back at 500 and could have, had you, looking pretty good, going down the stretch as your schedule starts to increase. Now, you can look at this two ways. You've seen improvement on the offensive side of football. You've seen the running game improve. You've seen some of the things improve that, the Saints wouldn't wait until the last minute with late game heroics. And you can look at, that they were playing good complementary football, or you can just look at the fact that it was just close but no cigars. Look, turning the ball over continues to happen for the New Orleans Saints. Deontay Hardy fumbles the football. Andy Dalton fumbles the football. You're not going to win games like that. And if you combine the fact that it seems like the NFL has it out for the New Orleans Saints, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm serious. Like, I understand that they got like sports betting and stuff like that be going on. I don't know if Buffalo Wild Wings is calling and maybe they want people to stay longer. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's pretty obvious. I mean, I don't care. Like, you can laugh and make fun of this stuff and all that kind of stuff about old Saints fans, they whining, they complaining. You're not going to tell me that those referees did not play a role in the game. And I find it very ironic that they were allowing these guys to play the game throughout the game. And then all of a sudden, when the game started to get nip and tuck, and it seemed like the Saints were going to get off the field on 2 third downs, two consecutive third downs, the Saints were going to force a 4th down. And all of a sudden, here come a ticky-tack call. They call a pass interference. They call a pass interference on Marshawn Lattimore that was clearly not pass interference. You can see Adam Thielen pushing his hand back, grabbing his face mask, yanked his face mask, and all of a sudden they calling that pass interference. Then they call illegal use of hands to the face on Tyrann Mathieu, and he didn't even touch Justin Jefferson's face mask at all. I mean, what the hell is going on here? Like, why is it that they just continue to throw these flags? And when the Saints, it seems like the Saints have their team on the ropes, or they seem like they're trying to develop momentum, all of a sudden, here come the flag. I just don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. At this particular point, it's almost like a parody or something. It's almost like they just basically giving a middle finger to Saints fans and the New Orleans Saints team over and over again. It's like they know we see this, they know it's obvious, and they don't care. It's like they just do not care. And don't give me that stuff about, oh, that ain't the reason why the Saints lost the game. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because if they would have got off the field, the Saints had the lead. What were they up, 22-19? So what does that tell you right there? That tells you that the New Orleans Saints could have possibly scored. They could have possibly got the ball back, probably got another field goal or something that could have gave them a little bit further lead. But instead, they kept on allowing these drives to happen. And then you keep on having this defense be on the field. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? They're going to just push that ball down the field and allow Minnesota to score. I'm sick and I'm tired of this, man. I don't care what anybody say. People can say, man, you just complaining. Man, go back and watch that game. Go back and watch that game. And for the last few minutes, tell me that they weren't trying to throw these flags. Then when the Saints got the ball back, they called a false start on them. When clearly, like, it's just absolutely ridiculous the way that they trying to play these dudes. They try, like, I'm serious, man. It's becoming a parody at this point. It's rather they just don't care or they just like, man, we not going to let y'all have it, especially when the games are close. I don't know what's going on, but I'm telling you, these referees need to be held accountable. The fact that we don't know who these dudes are for the most part, the fact that the NFL just allow these type of situations to happen, and then you combine like sports gambling in the midst. I got to tell you, man, I think that the fix is in. I think that the fix is in. I don't know if they want these teams to win or lose, but it seems like to me like they're trying to do something to protect the point spreads or something, because this right here was just absolutely ridiculous. Even the deep pass down the field, clearly, like this dude had his arm around Chris Olave's arm. You know what I'm saying? Like they about to be escorted during a homecoming or something. No flag, no nothing. It is just absolutely ridiculous how they can just continuously allow these things to happen. And I'm sick of it. Like, as a Saints fan, like, why should we watch the games? Like, why should we watch close games if we see that these referees just continue to throw these flags on these dudes at late moments, when it's clutch moments, when it's moments where the Saints have to make the stop, they make the stop, and then all of a sudden, here come a hold on Roby, here come illegal hands to the face, here come a pass interference call. It's like they're trying to make this team fail. And it's hard to win in the National Football League on top of having to look behind you and seeing if the referees got it in for you also. This is ridiculous, man. Look, Minnesota, they made some plays. I'm going to give them that. There were some clutch plays that they made. Kirk Cousins did a good job sustaining some drives. But I'm going to tell you this, man. Anybody that looked at that game and tell me on that last drive, I don't know how it would have went. I don't know if the Saints would have, converted or they would have had to punt back. I don't know what happened. But give them the opportunity to do that. The fact that it seemed like the Saints had momentum, they were going to get off the field, they were going to get a stop after a Taysom Hill touchdown. It seemed like to me like they tried to like nip the Saints' momentum in the bud. Every time the Saints seemed to like start to like percolate a little bit, they started to get a little bit of momentum. Here come the flags. Here come the extended plays. It's just absolutely ridiculous, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. The NFL, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be ashamed of themselves for what they constantly do in these type of situations to the New Orleans Saints. And I don't feel bad about saying this. I don't feel like I'm whining or crying or nothing like that. The fact of the matter is they screwed the New Orleans Saints on that last drive. The Saints had momentum. If they would have made that stop, the Saints would have got the ball back, and who knows what would have happened. Could have been a punt. Could have been a field goal. I don't know what would have happened, but you need to give these guys the opportunity to be able to sustain these drives. It's pathetic, absolutely pathetic. And the fact is, time gonna go on. Nobody gonna say anything at all. Nobody, no accountability or anything like that at all. It's just gonna be like, well, it's time to move on. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm sick of this, man. I'm sick of these referees determining the fate of this football team. So why in the hell should we as Saints fans be looking at this? Why should we subject ourselves to this nonsense every single time? It's to a point, I'm telling you, it is to a point. It is to a point where I know at about 5 minutes, left in the fourth quarter, if a game is close for the Saints, they're going to start throwing some flags. Seriously. It's almost at that point. It's almost like it's like clockwork. It's like clockwork, man. Ain't nobody about to tell me. Nobody is about to tell me on this day, on October 2nd, 2022, that these referees are not playing a huge role in some of these Saints losses. No, ain't about to tell me that. I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. Why should we, honestly, why should we sit up here and subject ourselves to this? If we know for a fact if our team is rolling, they trying to do everything that they can to win, and then all of a sudden here come a phantom hand to the face call or a phantom holding call. Like, it's ridiculous, man. And then they doing it, it seemed like on third downs. It's almost like, to me, like I said, it's like you trying to dictate the game. It's like you trying to dictate the game. On 2 consecutive third downs that would have got Minnesota off the field. Now, we can admit that this ain't the most disciplined New Orleans Saints team, but you ain't about to tell me, man, the last couple plays that they had on those third downs didn't determine the faith of this team or gave the Minnesota Vikings a better chance to go ahead and win. I'm sick of it, man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm sick to my stomach at watching this. If the Saints lose because the team is just better than the Saints, then fine. But when you got to play the team and the referees too, I'm over it. I'm over it, man. Like, for real, I am over it. Cool Sports, thank you very much for the $9.99. Says, screw the NFL. It ain't worth watching with the way the refs cheat. That's why they won't make every call reviewable, because they want to be able to cheat and help certain teams win. I don't, like I said, at this particular point, I'm starting to think that Vegas and the NFL are working hand in hand. Now, I understand that they allow sports gambling and stuff like that, but I'm really starting to believe, like, really seriously, Who Dat Nation, I'm really starting to believe that they are dictating these games. And people say, man, you can't really dictate, the football game. I'm telling you, man, I am telling you, looking at these games, how it be nip and tuck in the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, here come the flags on, like, phantom plays, sustaining drive on these phantom plays. You're not about to tell me, like, I'm serious. I think that they got something going on. I'm serious. I believe wholeheartedly that the NFL and some of these gambling pots got something going on, because you ain't about to tell me, like, all of a sudden, like, y'all just start calling everything to the vest last 4 minutes of the game. You know what I'm saying? When it's nut cutting time. Nah, man. Be nice for what? Thank you very much for the $5. Say, how many games would we have won if they hadn't been for the referee? Man, how many games? I mean, there's several games. There's several games that this team has been shortchanged. It's rather they call these plays to sustain drives, and don't give me that stuff. Well, the Saints still had to stop them. Look, these are professionals on both sides of the football. On both sides of the football, these are professionals. You give a quarterback, I don't care who it is, you give a quarterback several times and extra times in order for them to beat a defense, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And I'm sick of that excuse, man. I'm sick of that excuse. That right there, to me, is just justification for you to continue to do and practice the way that you do. Well, if the Saints wouldn't have stopped them, we wouldn't have had this. Like, how many times are we going to continue to do that? How many times do we have to, like, make these type of excuses? How many times? How many times are we going to hear this? Like, I'm tired of the ineptitude of these referees, and then all of a sudden, we as fans and the teams have to understand the ineptitude. Oh, y'all should have did everything in y'all power. Once again, this is the NFL. Any team can be any team on any given Sunday. And these teams, there's not much separation between them at all. And when you allow the referees to do what they did, it's just absolutely pathetic. I'm sick of it. I am, like, literally sick of this. And the sad thing about it, Who Dat Nation, when you're in games like this and when you're watching games like this, when the Saints are close, like, what's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's the craziest thing in the world. You're not like when your team is losing or down, and then all of a sudden it's like you trying to hope that the quarterback, making the right decisions, getting the ball down the field. You don't even have that luxury just to be focused on the quarterback and his decision making. You got to think about the referees too. You got to think about, okay, if they convert this play, if this is a big catch, then, is it going to be negated because there's a phantom holding call or, a hands to the face or illegal block in the back? It's like you cannot be too sure, especially in some of these nip-tuck games when it comes to the Saints. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of this, man. I'm sick of this. Like, Y'all just they just deciding this team fate in these crucial games like this. When I saw that PI on Lattimore, I almost stood up in church. I don't care, TJ. Everyone talking about penalties. The game was wrapped up with the black and gold bow. Look, all I know is this: like, you can talk about the penalties all day, all night. This team scratched and bite and clawed their way back into this game. They took the lead late in the game. They got 2 stops in a row. Both of the calls, the holding call on Roby, the hands to the face by Matthew, both of them look like just absolutely ridiculousness. They basically just said, hey, okay, well, y'all got him. But Mulligan, they basically giving these dudes mulligans. Yeah, you shanked it into the sand trap. But yeah, we not going to pay no attention to that. Go ahead and hit it again. That's what it was. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Absolutely pathetic, man. And there's no accountability for this. None. There will be no accountability for this, Who Dat Nation. None at all. Oh, y'all need to quit crying. Oh, y'all had all this opportunity to try to win. Y'all can't just look at the referees. The referees didn't determine the game. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that they did this. Man, I'm sick of it. As a fan, I'm like, man, what's the point? What's the point? Like, no matter how good your team is, no matter how hard they fight, and at the end of the day, they're going to end up getting screwed by these damn referees. Straight up. You can feel it. The guys out there fighting, finally taking the lead. You can feel the flags about to rain down. I'm telling you, it's like clockwork. Lattimore got cooked by Jefferson. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a good day for Lattimore, but I mean, Jefferson is a good wide receiver. And I don't think this is an indication of who or what Marshawn Lattimore is. You know, even the best have some rough games. I mean, we've seen, like, you know, great cornerbacks like, you know, Jalen Ramsey, you know, he didn't have some rough games. I mean, it happens. I mean, I still wouldn't give up Marshawn Lattimore for any of those other cornerbacks out there in the National Football League. I still think he's one of the best. It just happens. You know, you go up against a guy who is really talented, and it just happens. So I'm not knocking him, you know, for going up against an elite wide receiver. Didn't win the matchup today, but that don't mean he won't win the next one next week. You know, Vegas said we wouldn't only win 8 or 9 games is rigged. And then on top of that, what was the point spread? Wasn't it like 2.5? I mean, what they had the Vikings by 2.5, right? I mean, I could be wrong, but then, oh my goodness, Dick Gregory been told us that college and pro sports are rigged and controlled by Vegas. I'm starting to believe that. Like, I don't feel like I'm being prisoner of the moment either. I'm really honestly starting to believe that. I'm really starting to believe that. Like, after like some of the games that I've witnessed, I'm starting to believe that. I'm sorry, guys, that no call on Olave was BS. It was obvious. Man, a lot of calls, you know, to me shouldn't have been called, and the calls that should have been called wasn't called. Exactly, man. JJ gonna get his man. It happens. Yeah, man. I'm like, man, people going in. Yeah, you know, it wasn't his best outing, but I wouldn't trade Marshawn Lattimore for any other cornerback in the league. I think he's that good. Just had a bad game, you know. Go up against an elite wide receiver. You know, everybody know how special Justin Jefferson is. I mean, we watched them all in college and in the pros, so it happens. But I don't expect for that to be a reoccurring thing. Remember, TJ, NFL is labeled sports entertainment like WWE. Well, you know, you might well just bring Vince McMahon or Triple H out there on the field. So from what I'm seeing right now, you know what I'm saying, it looks predetermined to me. I can't complain about anything the Saints did, even the turnovers, because they were able to overcome it, but you can't overcome when the refs are making phantom calls. Man, I mean, I'm just talking about just ridiculous stuff. D. Watson says, y'all are trash. Definitely ain't trash, you know. Let's see. How is it rigged? Man, bruh. Get out my chat with that nonsense, man. Like, seriously. Get out my chat with this nonsense. Like, if you're a fan of the Vikings, fine. That's cool. But get out my chat with this nonsense. Like, I hate when people like just because your team wins or you feel like you benefit from it, don't mean that you have to be blind like Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles. It's obvious. It's obvious. And if you didn't see it, you don't want to see it. And if you didn't want to see it, then I have no business talking to you at all. So get out my chat with that nonsense. Straight up. I'm not even saying that because I'm feeling emotional about the game. I'm just saying I just hate when people say stupid stuff when they see it's obvious. Like, if this happened, like I'm telling you, if let's just say if that was Chris Olave that ripped that one of the cornerback Patrick Peterson's helmet or something. You know what I say? I say, yeah, man, that shouldn't have been pass interference. But I hate when people feel like it benefits them, then they want to come in and talk noise. Man, get out of here with this nonsense. Please get up out of my chat. Matter of fact, man, let me go ahead and block your ass. Get out of here with that nonsense, man. I ain't got no time for it. Seriously. Like, I hate, I cannot stand stuff like that. I cannot. Next question. It's all fun and games till it's your team. Deontay Hardy isn't the same like he was previous season. Special teams on this team can't block or getting anything going at all. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't care if they see this or not. Deontay Hardy playing like he trying to hold his body together for money. I mean, maybe he just realized, okay, they're not going to pay me. You know, I'm not going to come back with the team. So maybe, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to just kind of preserve my body, you know what I'm saying, for when it's time for me to renegotiate or try to go to another team. And he's playing like it. I don't see a spark. I don't see the electricity. I don't see nothing. I don't know if he's just discouraged about the fact that he's getting little playing time and the Saints kind of just have him on that special teams role or what. But he is not the same person. He is not the same special teams player that he was throughout the years. It seems like to me like he playing with a full belly instead of when it was when he felt like he was hungry. And like I said, I feel like he kind of preserving himself. And I mean, if that's the case, fine, but I'm not seeing that energy. I'm not seeing that electricity that I normally would see from a guy like Deontay Hardy. And this special teams is just awful, like god awful. I just like this, like the late hits, the holding calls, like it's just bad business right now. Like, I haven't seen it this bad since what they had Marcus Murphy back there returning kicks. If it's a close game, the refs gonna screw us. Pretty much. Man, pretty much. I will be out there week 11. I got to witness the BS. I don't know, man. I'm like, what's the point? Like, if you know that they're gonna continue to screw your team over like this. Hey, TJ, the refs helped make this loss. On to the next. Dalton played really well, so we cannot complain about Pete anymore. Yeah, I mean, look, the offense looked good to me. Like, look, I know some people that wanted him to fall flat on his face today. Y'all may not want to hear this, but the dude looked good, and the offense looked better than it did this entire season. So I'm gonna call it for what it is. Andy Dalton looked good. He looked poised in the pocket. The offensive line looked better. He was quick with the decision making. Like, he put the ball in the hands of playmakers and allowed them to make plays. Adam Troutman was out there looking like he was a credible tight end. So and then you had Latavius Murray. I mean, that man was toting the freaking mail. If the Saints don't have Latavius Murray in this rotation next week, rather it's Alvin Kamara comes back or not, then I'm gonna question this offense, okay? Because look, this ain't favoritism. This ain't he been here for a long time. This ain't about seniority. If you're looking at the running game, if you're looking at the running backs, Latavius Murray, and this includes Alvin Kamara, has been the most impressive running back this entire season. And this man just joined the team a couple of weeks ago. So if the Saints don't have this man out there, like it was to a point where every time, Latavius Murray get the ball, it's like you thought he was about to break it. And it was him. You know what I'm saying? It was his decision making, because he'll go in there, he'll have like 2 plays, 5 yards, 7 yards. Then all of a sudden they'll switch it up and put Mark Ingram in 1 yard, 2 yards. And you could tell like Mark was starting to get frustrated because you're like, dang, you know what I'm saying? This man cooking right now and I can't get it going. But I'm telling you, if they don't have Latavius Murray somewhere in this rotation next week, like in all seriousness, man, like something is wrong here. Like something is wrong here. Like the way that man was toting that mail, that man was toting the mail. Seriously, like man, he was out there doing his thing, and that was a godsend him being able to come back to the team. And why they take Murray out and put Ingram in? Yeah, I didn't understand that. That man was cooking, probably because of breather though. Probably because of breather. I mean, this was like his first game, and you also have to think about, you know, being in game shape. You know, so they tried to get the changer back. He got away with 3 picks. So just face it, we really need Winston healthy. Man, look, I don't care. Like, woulda, shoulda, coulda, it didn't happen. All right. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, it didn't happen. The man played good today. Played, you know what I'm saying? He commanded the offense and he made some plays. I just don't man. My goodness. I want to say something, but I'm gonna just leave that alone. We did have some bad calls by the refs, but that's out of our control. Those fumbles by Dalton and Hardy are strictly on us, though. Yeah, but once again, that mind frame, Sincere, is the main reason why they continue to screw the Saints over. Seriously. Like, we psychologically become programmed like, man, if, you know, we wouldn't have fumbled these footballs, then, you know, it ain't got nothing to do with the referees. Like hell it don't. Like hell it don't. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, they fumbled the football, yeah. But guess what? Those fumbles didn't, you know, those fumbles didn't dictate the game. How many points did that Andy Dalton fumble get? 3. How many you know, did that Deontay Hardy one get? I want to say it got 3 also, right? So, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't to a point where the Saints were out of it. The Saints had a lead. They had the lead. So all this stuff right here, the fumbles, you know what I'm saying, whatever that happened up to that particular point, the Saints had a lead. They were leading the game. They had a 3-point lead they had a 3-point lead. So the point is, the New Orleans Saints had a chance to win. They forced 3 and outs. I mean, they forced a 3 and out, and it was a flag on 3rd down. Then they forced, you know what I'm saying, them to get off the field again on 3rd down, and they called another flag. So regardless to how we want to spin it, no matter how we want to, you know, be the voice of reason, the reality is them boys got screwed over by the referees sustaining that drive for the Minnesota Vikings. They sustained those drives for the Minnesota Vikings. They allowed the Minnesota Vikings to get down the field. And we seen this before. We seen the same exact thing a couple weeks ago with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The same thing. What they happen? You know what I'm saying? The referees. Like, Marshawn Lattimore gets pushed by Leonard Fournette. He pushes. You know what I'm saying? Mike Evans comes off the sideline, blasts him, and he gets tossed out of the game. But why should he get tossed out of the game? But he did. What happened on the very next play? PJ Williams in man coverage end up getting smoked by Perriman. I'm telling you, it is, my goodness. Like, how can anybody like justify the bull? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they had the turnovers, but even with those turnovers, that team got off the field on 3rd down twice. We can't keep dropping these NFC games if you want to make a run. That means we got to play perfect ball for the rest of the year. Yeah, man, look, the chances after losing 2 out of the 3 games in your division and losing another NFC game, it's going to be tough for the Saints to make the postseason, man, without them having to go on some type of run. The Saints going to have to, like, go on some magical run. They're going to have to win, you know what I'm saying, a few games in order for them to be back. I'm going to be honest. It's not looking good when it comes to the postseason. It's looking real rough because losing these games, now you have a bunch of tiebreakers. And if Minnesota is, let's just say, for example, if they one of those teams in the end that need a win, you know, or a loss or something like that, they win the tiebreaker because the Saints lost the game. Andy Dalton did what he was supposed to do. Give him a chance. Yeah, man, I don't get it. Like, the dude played well. Well, what he should have did, like throwing, like he would have threw 3 interceptions, but he didn't. Like, the dude made some good decisions, man. It's okay with that. Look, you can like Jameis Winston. I like Jameis Winston. But you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta defecate on the other dude because you like the guy and you feel like that'll be beneficial to Jameis Winston's return. I want to win. I don't know about y'all. I want to win. Like, some of y'all get so wrapped up in wanting to be right all the time. Man, I told you that was going to happen. I knew it the whole entire time. I told y'all. I've been telling y'all for weeks. I've been telling y'all for years. What did that benefit? What does that benefit? If Andy Dalton goes out there and let's just say if he played like trash, how would that benefit the team? It wouldn't. How can you really legitimately call yourself a Saints fan and a Saints supporter if in the back of your mind you're hoping that a guy who is instrumental in the Saints' success fails? How? Seriously. Like, some of y'all need to do some soul searching, man. It ain't always about being right. Man, like today, I did a prediction. I said the Saints were going to lose. I was hoping to God that I was wrong. I was hoping to God that I'm wrong. I don't like, and then somebody was like, man, TJ, you was wrong. I told you it was going to win. Thank you. I'm glad. But some of y'all, man, just like want to keep a narrative going and going and going. Like, does being right means that much to you? I want to see this team win. I don't care about you being right. I don't even care about being right. At the end of the day, I want this team to have more wins than losses. I want to see this team have as much prosperity as possible. But all this, man, I told you I was right, you was wrong. Like, man, get it, man, for real. Like, how does that benefit? That doesn't benefit the team at all. Who cares if you're right? If the man would have threw 3 interceptions out there today and, you know what I'm saying, the offense would have fell flat on his face, like, would you still feel good today? You'll be like, yeah, I told you. Yeah, I feel great. Yeah, I was right. The Saints lost by 3 touchdowns, but I was right. Like, come on, man. Give a damn about being right. I want this team to win. Explain field goal ball went in, then out, kick good. When it hit the crossbar like that and it hits the bottom bar, it has to go back. Okay. If it would have hit like behind, like the crossbar, like the part that goes down to the ground, then it would have been good. All right. But the fact that it hit the crossbar, it didn't roll back, it rolled forward, that means that is no good. I mean, pretty bad break. Smith got a catch, Callaway got a catch, and Olave almost won the game. Yeah, I mean, Chris Olave, I mean, you got to be pretty impressed, man. I mean, he almost made that catch, you know, and it would have made the field goal a little bit more manageable, you know. I mean, look, Chris Olave, those last few moments, the Saints definitely made the right decision. I mean, this dude is pretty spectacular, man. He's a special player. And you know, I look forward to seeing what this dude can actually be doing down the stretch. He has a lot of heart. He had 4 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown. And that's the type of guy you want on the team. And he definitely stepped up. I mean, Jarvis Landry was clearly clear that he was hurt and he wasn't able to do a lot of things today. But, you know, Callaway stepped up, made some plays. Olave, Juwan Johnson, Adam Troutman, those guys stepped up. So for that, you know what I'm saying, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of what I saw. And you was right, TJ. They got the 27 on us, man. I don't honestly, I appreciate that, but I don't care. I don't care about that, man. It's not Andy hate overall. We want to win. The point is, it wasn't all on Jameis. Look, like, we're not saying that. I'm not saying that it's all on Jameis. What I'm saying is, I want to see this team win, and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at quarterback play with a fine-tooth comb to try to justify my narrative. I just want to see this team win. All right. Offensively, like, if we being real, like, I don't care. Like, some of y'all get mad, I don't care. If we're talking about offense and the offense being, you know, moving and you know what I'm saying, and functioning correctly, like, they have not been that efficient offensively and done those things this entire season. Andy Dalton was the quarterback behind that. Now, you can put it any way you want to, but the offense has not looked as good in some cases as they did in this game today. So I know some people, that's not good for your narrative, but this offense looked much better today than they have ever been, for the exception of that fourth quarter against Atlanta. This is the first game, like, throughout the game, where they actually look efficient. Whether you want to accept that or not. If we started Dalton after week 1, then we'll probably be 2-2 right now. Thank you for the $4.99. Who knows, man? Who knows? AK is more of a threat if Andy Dalton is the quarterback. I mean, he did check out a lot of passes to the running back, so yeah, maybe you'll see that improve. I was at the Saints-Buck game too, and I agree. You could see that hate those reps have for the Saints, but why though? I'm gonna be real. Like, I encourage everybody to check out this documentary on Netflix. Some of y'all probably seen it. It's about Tim Donaghy, and he was talking about how these referees manage the game and how they do these calls, and if they got like some type of personal vendetta against a coach, or personal vendetta against a player, they'll call the game a certain way. I'm telling y'all right now, for people that don't believe that, it happens. And for people that feel like, oh, the referees can't dictate the pace and slow down the momentum of the game, I encourage you to check out that documentary about Tim Donaghy. And for those that don't know who Tim Donaghy is, he was accused and prosecuted for betting on games. You know what I'm saying? And also the games that he was actually a part of, he was kind of dictating the point spread. So there you go. Refs are killing our momentum at the right moments. This is fixable. Commit to the running the ball. You ain't lying. We got 472 people watching this. Please hit the like button. I ask that you hit the like button if you enjoy the show, the commentary, or what have you. Please hit the like button. I'll take Dalton over a healthy Jameis this season. We're a mediocre team, and it's okay to recognize that. You hope things turn around, and if they don't, you hope changes are made. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like I was saying that at halftime. I just think that people just expect for this team to just go off 30 points, blowing teams out. That's just not who the Saints are anymore. Like, this is a team that's just trying to figure it out. Do they have the right pieces when it comes to the coaching staff? That remains to be seen. But as of right now, today, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't look. This team is undisciplined. They sloppy, and that's an indication of the coaching staff. And if I'm continuously seeing the same things, the ball on the ground, the fumbles, the mishaps, the undisciplined when it comes to the false start penalties, when we still seeing the same thing, it's pretty obvious. It's the coaching staff. I don't know if there's very little accountability or no accountability at all. But as of right now, Dennis Allen is not looking like the answer. And let me see. Prince says, I look at the Saints these last few years as a better version of the Lions when it comes to the ref. They target certain teams year after year, and the Saints and Lions continue to have bad calls. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the NFL and these games are hard to win, and it's even harder when the referees are involved. You're 100% right, TJ. Appreciate that. Let's see. Roger, thank you very much for the $1.99. CJ Gardner-Johnson has nothing to do with the penalties. Man, who up here talking about CJ Gardner-Johnson? CJ Gardner-Johnson has absolutely nothing to do with the Saints losing games. I don't get that. Like, y'all think high fives and butt pats, like that's gonna help you win games. Like, come on, man. Vikings run a 3-4 defense, and the Saints should have just ran the ball constantly with Murray, Hill, and Ingram, then play action, drain the clock. Yeah, I mean, the way they was running the football, when they was doing the play action, there was some plays down the field. And that's what I wanted the Saints to get into, because you run the football, you running it successfully with Latavius Murray, who averaged 5.2 yards a carry. And then you had Mark out there, you know what I'm saying? He was doing his thing. So I'm like, they keep on punching that. So you have to respect the running game. You got to, you know what I'm saying, add a couple more guys into the box. That sets up the play action. So those one-on-one coverages, that's why you was able to see Adam Troutman get open. That was the reason why you was able to see Traquan get open on one of those plays. I mean, those play action plays were working because the Saints were able to run the football. Austin, thank you very much for the 199. Says if we don't make the postseason, Joe Burrow time. Joe Burrow time. Well, it don't look like honestly, if you look at statistics and history, yeah, the Saints not gonna make the playoff. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at history, so history is not good for teams that start the season 1-3. Olave is that dude. Now y'all know why Winston always targeting him. And see, it's funny how they tried to have a balanced attack with Andy, but Jameis Winston had to throw it 45 times a game. Think about Saint fans. Like, I don't know about conspiracy theories. I don't know. I do know this. Teams try to scheme around guys' best qualities, and also Latavius Murray was not. Latavius Murray was deep, like not on any of those teams. Jameis Winston was the starter of, so maybe that would have influenced them to run the football a little bit more. I want the Ohio State quarterback. Good luck with that, because that ain't gonna happen. CJ Stroud is gonna be long gone, and the Saints, as of right now, are making the Philadelphia Eagles a top 5 draft pick team, because the Eagles have the Saints draft pick. So a lot of people are like, man, tank for what? Like, what are they gonna tank for? What, a top 2nd round pick? So regardless of how bad the Saints are, the only team that benefits from that is the Eagles. We should have been running the ball. Callaway stepped up big time. That was the easiest 2-point conversion. A lot of positives going forward. If Thomas and Kamara were healthy, this game isn't close. Who is the Jags coach this season? Doug Peterson. Hardy fumble was a killer. Not talking about the penalties. I still feel like this team is right there. Yeah, I mean, that's the frustrating thing about it. They're so talented, and yet you're still dealing with these same situations. Run the damn ball. Have you seen, TJ, the issue that's going on with the Miami Dolphins? There's talk that the Miami Dolphins have to cut to they already fired the entire medical staff to fresh medical staff. NFL was not. Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, it just seemed like there's something always going on with them trash Dolphins. That's why they own a Stephen Ross isn't suspended for the entire year. Joe Burrow, a Saint dreams. Man ain't going nowhere. That's a franchise quarterback they have in Cincinnati. So just chip from Louisiana or the Gulf Coast or wherever you are, because this guy's going to be the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback for the next decade, pending he doesn't get injured. Bench Hardy for crying out loud. Bench him from what? Returning kicks? I mean, most of the time they probably going to sail over your head, or you're going to have a fair catch anyway. So, I mean, it's just the fact that he fumbled. He tried to make a play. Andy Dalton looked good, and man Murray, refs, no good. With Winston, our play calling changes. Don't take back Winston. Thanks, TJ. And you're the type of dude that I want podcasting about me. Use a special podcaster. Well, I appreciate that, Chris Olave. Thank you, Chris. Let's see. The Saints look good today for the first time this season. Yeah, there were a lot of things that were positive. I mean, it was a heartbreaking loss. It felt more like a playoff game, right? Because, stuff tends to happen to the Saints. But it was a lot of positives. There's a lot of positives. I just don't want them to fall into that Dan Campbell type thing last season where, they fight real hard and it just don't equate to victory. And the NFL isn't done punishing the Miami Dolphins besides cutting two. I already read that. But yeah, they probably ain't done with that. I'm scroll down a little bit. I agree with you, TJ. The offense was more efficient today. Most of the short and intermediate passes were put on point today. Facts, TJ. Oh, bro, shut the hell up about that Bounty Gate. I'm so sick of that narrative. Man, who cares about Bounty Gate at this particular point? Who cares? Like, who cares about that? It's pretty obvious that it wasn't what they said that it was. I mean, it was even to a point where, Roger Goodell refused to apologize to Jonathan Vilma. Like, we don't pay no attention to that type of stuff, though. And we also don't pay attention to the fact that other teams have talked about and came out and said that they do the same. They were doing the same thing, but the Saints end up getting caught. I mean, teams do that all the time. Probably your favorite team be doing that. But of course, we ain't gonna say anything like that. We gonna just, keep it to the Saints. Love your content. This is all fixable. I was looking for them to run the ball down the Vikings' throat, commit to the running game. Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, I get they tried to throw like a fade pass down the field to Chris Olave. To me, that should have been pass interference. What I know, but I just feel like the way they were running the football with Latavius Murray, I'm pretty sure he probably would have got a few yards and probably would have set up instead of having throwing that ball on 2nd and 9, setting up a 3rd and 9 if it wasn't complete. Like, run the football with Latavius Murray, maybe it'll get you a couple more yards or even a first down. And then you throw the football on 3rd down for like a 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 4 if you end up not getting the first down. TJ, this is just a theory. Don't take it literally. Are we trying to get that Ohio State quarterback? So are we going to tank? Like, I want people to understand this, okay? I want people to understand this. I want to make this very, very clear. The Saints do not have a first-round draft pick next year. In this coming draft, they do not have a first-round draft pick. All this tanking narratives that we trying to run is not what it is, okay? There's no reason to tank when you don't have a first-round pick. What are you exactly tanking for? Are you tanking for a top 2nd-round pick? That makes absolutely no sense. The Saints have no need to tank. All right, that is not happening. All these quarterbacks, the C.J. Stroud, the Bryce Young, all these other guys out here that's supposed to be coming out, the quarterback out of Kentucky. Look, all these dudes are going to be gone by the time the Saints pick. Okay, if things are right now. So losing games at this particular point benefits absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. TJ, how you feel about possibly bringing in Shaheed from the practice squad and benching Hardy? The way that he's playing right now, I wouldn't mind it. Man, my boy walking on eggshells right now. My boy being careful. I'm telling you. I just feel like he out there. He trying to be very, very careful the way that he playing the game of football. And maybe once again, he know that the Saints aren't going to pay him. So maybe you want to keep himself in good shape, good physical condition for when he hit the free agent market next year. But if that's the way that you're going, and I mean, I can't knock you for that if you're trying to preserve yourself, but give somebody else a chance to do what you're doing. And maybe that probably be understandable why he ended up like being a scratch last week. People saying his foot injury, maybe they did that to save face. But the way that he's playing on special teams right now, I mean, you ain't missing much. I know the running game looks good today. Hopefully they stick with the play caller. Bro, Jameis fumbled and threw picks. Shut up about Jameis, bro. He ain't it right now. Man, look, talking about Jameis is irrelevant right now. It is irrelevant. It's about Andy Dalton and him going forward. I don't know if he's gonna. I'm gonna be honest with you. Andy Dalton did good enough to start next week, so I'm pretty don't be surprised if the Saints sit out Jameis Winston again next week. You don't let me see. You don't look good having drive killing penalties and fumbles. O-line blocked better this game. Yeah, the O-line looked much better. They had one play. What was that play? I think they end up giving a ball. I want to say it was Adam Troutman, and you had your lead blockers up front. I mean, that was a good play. I mean, Eric McCoy, that big boy be rolling, man. How did the refs miss that face mask mugging that Lattimore got? Because they were too busy looking at Lattimore with his phantom pass interference call. Can't even be mad anymore. I know we didn't play the best today. Yeah, man. At this point, it is what it is. Y'all, we are getting better game by game. We're going to be okay. Bro, Jameis lovers are being ignorant right now. When Taysom Hill plays and wins, people still hate on him for no reason. We trying to win Dalton or Hill. Yeah, I don't care who it is. I don't care. Whoever the quarterback is on Sunday got my support. Facts, bro. We need to keep running the ball no matter what, 3rd and 2nd, and we throw it passes. When we getting 5 and 6 yards runs, the run game works. It works better. Yeah, man. They should just pound. Like it was clear, like late in the game, Minnesota couldn't stop the run. Minnesota couldn't stop the run. They did a good job at mixing up the play calling, but that spin by Dalton on that fumble look, yeah, geriatric. Yeah, I just think that he was trying to make a play. He was trying to make a play, but I mean, sometimes you just gotta, throw the ball away or take the sack, live, fight another day. Philly is laughing at us. You ain't lying. Loomis said the other day that the quarterback next year is already on the team. We gave it to the Eagles. The F you talking about Taysom got benched. I don't think Taysom got benched. When did Taysom get benched? I don't think Taysom ever got benched. Not gonna say I don't think Taysom ever got benched. What did Jameis win? He ain't win nothing. Like he won a game in week 1 versus the Atlanta Falcons. But I don't understand why we bashing our own quarterback. Hill did get benched. He was 4-1 as a starter. He got a Liz Frank injury. If Hill hadn't got COVID and had to sit out the Dolphins game, the Saints would have made the playoffs. I mean, yeah, he ain't get benched. He ain't never get benched. I think the games they played, then that was the year Drew Brees came back, right? Drew Brees came back after that. Because, I mean, that was when Drew Brees had like the rib injury. Jameis ended up going in a game, and then Taysom started for 5 games. So, yeah, he didn't get benched. I mean, Drew just came back. Looked like Philly is going to get a top 10 pick, and that hurts. Why was Lattimore man-to-man on Jefferson on the final possession in press coverage? I felt that was a bad defensive call. I don't think it was a bad defensive call based on how great Marshawn Lattimore has been playing all season. I mean, if he won that one-on-one matchup, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It just hindsight is 2020, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about Marshawn Lattimore all week long being locked up on a team's best wide receiver, and we give him kudos when he's shutting down the field. But when it don't work, it looked like it's the worst decision ever. But it's no different from the coverage that he has every single week. It's just the individual. It's just the individual. So I'm not gonna knock him for that. Who has the Saints first round pick? The Eagles. Glad play calling for the first 3 quarters. On 2nd and 3, we passed the ball and Murray averaged 3.5 a carry, which hurt us big time. Let's see. Yeah, Hardy in. Yeah. They benefit from the Saints tanking. I don't think Hardy is 100%, to be honest. I mean, he been like this all season. I'm going to be real with you. He been like this all season. So before the foot injury, before any time he ended up on the injury report, I've been saying like the same energy. Joey Howell, what did Dalton win? Bro, how y'all call yourself fans and don't know about the team? We traded our pick to the Eagles in order to draft Olave. All the way to London for an L. Yeah, that's crazy though, right? I mean, you stay in London all week, and then the Vikings get there on Friday and y'all still lose. Like, y'all like, so the time, like that whole time narrative, and y'all feel like that was gonna be beneficial, didn't work at all. We do keep hearing the Saints might get 2 first-round picks for Sean Payton. Yeah, if Sean comes back. If Sean comes back, like we don't know that. We don't know if Sean gonna come back. We just anticipating that. We feel like, okay, well, maybe Sean will come back. We don't know if he coming back or not. Dalton moved the ball way better than Winston did. Based on those last few games, I agree with that. I will agree with that. The offense looked better than they did in this entire season. I mean, if some of you may not want to admit that, but that's the truth. I mean, I'll say maybe a few plays, a few drives where they look good. The first drive versus Carolina last week, that was, what I'm saying, that was a good, like, efficient drive. But I'm talking about like consistency, moving the chains. Like, yeah. We traded 5 picks, including next year's first, to Philadelphia to move up to pick Olave. I mean, in a way, it was beneficial because I mean, look at Olave, but you would hope that he would be the missing piece to help you make the postseason. Is the NFL against Gail Benson for owning the team? Maybe that's why the referees are set against us. Just a theory. Man, them boys were screwing the Saints when Tom Benson was alive, if you want to be real with it. Maybe we should be praying for the Cowgirls to tank. So when Sean goes to coach them, we could get their top first rounder as a comp. Angela, look, I don't think Sean Payton going to the Cowboys. I think Sean Payton going to the Chargers. That's who I feel like he's going to. I feel like that's set up for him to succeed. It's a big market. It's in Los Angeles. Where is he right now? You know what I'm saying? Doing Fox and all that kind of stuff. They in Los Angeles. He already talked about he might think about getting a place there. So I don't think that the Vegas Raiders are going to get rid of Josh McDaniel after, 1 year if they don't end up panning out. But based on like the quarterback with Justin Herbert, all that talent that they have out there, and they struggling right now, the Chargers, I guarantee you, like that's the one team that I feel like very strongly he gonna go to. And I feel like that would be something that Mickey Loomis be willing to do, because you don't have to worry about playing Sean, every year. Like if he was in the NFC, you'll play him like every 4 years or something like that, right? You won't have to worry about, the Saints playing the Chargers very often. And then you don't have to worry about, bringing them to a team that's, like I said, an NFC team. I don't see him doing it. Based on like Sean Payton's personality, based on the way that he carries himself, I feel like him and Jerry Jones will be butting heads, because Sean Payton has a dominant personality. So I think more than likely he'll probably end up coaching the Chargers. Another team that I feel like he probably would coach, probably because of their fan base, where they are, probably the Seahawks if Pete Carroll steps away. And probably a dark horse would be the New York Jets, because New York is a New York market. I feel like the Jets probably would be willing to give him more control of the team. And I think that we all know Sean likes projects. Like we know he likes projects, right? He came to the New Orleans Saints when, right after Hurricane Katrina, devastation everywhere. So I wouldn't put it past him like joining the Jets, trying to change that team around and trying to make Zach Wilson a better quarterback. But that top team, to me, I feel like he'll go to is the Chargers. So keep your eye on the Los Angeles Chargers. If they don't pan out this year, man, I'm telling you, they're gonna try to get Sean Payton. I hope Sean comes back. We have a lot of talent over here. Sean could capitalize on that. I think the refs throwing games is what ran Sean off. Now I think Sean Payton just, he got a little, I guess you can say redundant. Being in the same place for years and years and years like that. I think he wanted to change. I don't think Sean Payton wants to coach the Saints anymore. I don't. I just think that he's looking for a new challenge. But I tell you this, Sean Payton is looked at as a great guy, in the eyes of the Saints, fans and stuff like that. We appreciate what he do. But I'm telling you, and I keep saying this: if Sean Payton goes and coach another team, and if the Saints struggles continue and they have a bad year, and he has the opportunity to come back to the team and he doesn't, he gonna end up being a bad guy, and Saints fans gonna turn on him. And don't say that they won't, because y'all some of y'all emotions and allegiance is from down to down. So if it's from down to down, for a fact that some of y'all gonna be ready to turn on Sean Payton. No, y'all are. I seen people in the chat. I'm talking about, man, they was up there bashing Tyrann Mathieu and stuff like that. Man, what Tyrann Mathieu doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's a waste of time. Then all of a sudden he catch a pick. Then all of a sudden I go back to the tweet and it's deleted. Like some of y'all, man, y'all just so emotional, man. Like no patience at all. Like don't allow things to develop. Like people was ready, man. Well, I told you this offense wasn't all that already. It wasn't just Jameis for. I'm like, after 2 drives, like these, like it was like people just expect as soon as Andy Dalton go out there, 50-yard bomb downfield to Chris Olave for a touchdown. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you have no patience. Some of y'all have no patience. I was like, y'all ready to write this man off and the offense off after 2 drives. 2. We won't be another championship. We wasn't supposed to win the one we got. So now the NFL is punishing us. Well, they earned the one that they got. I can see a scenario where he comes back to the Saints as well. Honestly, it's a small chance. Like I don't think he wants to coach the Saints. That's just the reality. He don't want to coach the Saints. I think he wants to take on another challenge, and it's well within his right. It's well within his rights. He don't owe the New Orleans Saints nothing. That feeling and that love that you have for this team probably was instilled by Sean Payton, by the win, by the success, by the playoff appearances, by the win-loss record, by, you know what I'm saying, the teams that he put together over the course of time. Sean Payton don't owe the Saints organization nothing, because before he got there, we were a laughingstock. We were an embarrassment. So this man basically put this team on the map. So anybody that feels like Sean Payton owes the Saints anything, he doesn't. In some ways, we owe him. In some ways, we definitely owe him, especially if you like one of them old Saints fans that remember how trash this team was. So if he doesn't come back, he wants to take on a new challenge as well within his rights. TJ, why Hardy don't get more involved in the offense? I have not a clue. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I wish I could, but I can't. I still believe in our Saints, but something has to change with the refs. It's beyond tiresome. Yeah, I'm tired of these referees. TJ, well, everyone in the chat, if we had Sean as a head coach right now with the same squad, what would y'all say our record would be? I think that, honestly, I think the Saints would probably be 3-1 with Sean Payton as the coach. They'll be 3-1 because some of these things that constantly plague the Saints, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening on a week-to-week basis like they have been since Dennis Allen was a coach. And right now, you know, I'm just, look, I know it's been 4 games, but I'm seeing the same thing happen over and over again in games. I'm not too high on Dennis Allen right now. I'm serious. Like, going forward, I'm not too high on him. TJ Watt already read that. I don't know. The season was only 4 weeks long. Y'all want to be fans kill be a little adversity, and y'all just throw the whole season away like we don't have 13 games left to play. Well, you know, some people, you know, they just never been, like, they have not been in this situation or feel hopeless, you know, because even, you know, when the Saints have been dealing with this type of adversity, you recognize the people that can get you out. You know, you had Sean Payton and Drew Brees. This is like uncharted water for a lot of Saints fans, you know, but, you know, I like what I saw today. It's something they can build on. I just hope that it's not too late before, you know, when it all comes together. I like you, but stop these morons asking about drafting and tanking. Don't address those questions. Well, Glenn, look, I go down the list, man. I don't know. I don't proofread. If I did that, then that mean they would have awkward silence in between everything. So sometimes, you know, sometimes the statements they get there because, I mean, I'm not proofreading as I you know, go along. I just kind of just click the button. What can be more challenging than coaching our current team? I don't ever see Sean back in New Orleans. Wake up, I'm born and raised, but none want to come to New Orleans. Even he didn't want to be here originally. Yeah, that's true. I mean, but because it wasn't a winning culture. Now, you know, going to the New Orleans Saints now, I mean, it's a good destination spot, you know, for coaches. DA got to shake up things next week. I remember them bad old days. The Saints need up-and-coming coaches because the established will never come to stay. Let's see. Man, we 1-3. Special teams have been bad. They are the most consistently inconsistent. Every other aspect of the team has had good performances during certain games. Austin Collins, 199, says some fans, bro, doesn't even feel like they know football. Some of them don't. Some of them don't know football. They just want to sit up there and complain and cry and whine all day. Those are the same fans I can't stand. Like, It's like one of those people that's always complaining about everything. Man, they need to do something about this community. They need to pick up the trash. They need to make sure that the grass cut. Hey, what you gonna do about it? What you mean what I'm gonna do about it? It ain't my job. Then what the hell you complaining about for? That like there are no answers, no nothing. Can't talk X's and O's, can't talk Willies and Joes, but can point out who people didn't do what and what's wrong with him today, and we need to trade him. Like no matter what the situation is, we need to trade this dude. Like it could be some old like Drockmore named blocking. Man, we need to trade him for what? How? Like, do y'all understand when you trade somebody, it's supposed to be of value? So you think this team, like seeing this dude whiff on a block, you don't think the other team seeing it too? Like this, like I don't know, man. Some of y'all, I really feel like y'all think football is like you playing Madden. You turn the salary cap off, you enable the trades. You know what I'm saying? You can go out there and get anybody you want. Some of y'all like think football is like that, but it's not. You know, like those whiny, complaining Saints fans, like just any deep pass that's caught, any first down converted, they looking. Who was that? Who was that? That was Bradley Roby? I knew it. I knew it was him the whole time. I knew it was him. Then Bradley Roby back up a play. Let's go, baby. I told you, man. I knew he was good. I know he had it in him. Like, man, shut up. Like, man, I'm for real, man. Like, some of y'all suffer from, I feel like, bipolar disorder. Like, y'all bash the dude on one play and celebrate him on the next play, and you act as if we didn't see you bash this dude for, you know what I'm saying, the entire time, you know, when he had a down game. It happens. Do you think we should have got Eric Bieniemy? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if we should have got Eric Bieniemy or not. I don't know if he's a good coach or he's just a good coordinator. You know, some guys are good coordinators, not good coaches. I feel like Dennis Allen, I'm starting to believe that he kind of falls in that category. You know, good coordinator. And the thing about it is I feel bad because if it don't pan out, as good as the defense is, if you will have to fire him, then that good defense goes away too. Because you know you're not going to want to take a step back. And if you hire a new coach, you're going to want to bring somebody else in. So that's the worst thing about it. That's why I want them to be able to fix this, because as long as he's on the team, you're going to have a lights out defense. But, man, they need to bring somebody in to be able to help out or something like that. They got to get this thing together. Mr. Wright, look, man, the team played a good game. The refs made some terrible calls on that last touchdown drive versus the Vikings. You ain't lying. The Saints did a poor job searching for a new head coach when Sean Payton left. Well, I think the most part they want to just kind of keep the guys that they had intact, because, you know, they felt like there was nothing wrong with them. And in a way that there wasn't anything wrong with them. I just think that the difference is the play calling. You know, I think you have to have a feel of the game, and that's something that Sean Payton had. He had a feel of the game, and like, let's not get it twisted. Like, the Saints went out here just lighting teams up, scoring 60 points all the time, every game. There was some times where we just wondering, like, what the hell was Sean Payton doing? I mean, we know it. So, I mean, there's no easy fix for this, in my opinion. You know, like the offense, it just seems like they just don't know what it is. It's like what they should be is what they're not trying to be. Like, they're a running football team. Like, they can be a smash mouth offense, but they don't want to be that. They want to be a vertical threat. They want to throw the ball down the field. They want, like, that's not you. And sometimes you just got to realize who you are and what you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you end up like running your offense like the Tennessee Titans run theirs, like running a football, you know, maybe throwing some screen passes, setting up the play action, ain't nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, if you win, who cares about how many points? A win is a win. Man, we have 13 games. We'll be fine. Today was a hard-fought game. This team ain't as bad as their record. Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. Like I said, I just hope that it's not too late. Roger, thank you very much for the $2. Says they need to fire Pete and get a new OC. Well, if they do, that won't happen until next year. So strap in, buddy. This man said fire Pete. Oh my God! At this point, you can tell who actually Saints fans and who just trolling. Look, Lee, I don't think he trolling. I think that you have Saints fans that be trying to search for answers. Are those answers a little bit irrational? I don't know. I mean, that remains to be seen. But I do think that I just think that we have to chill out a little bit. Like we just so emotional right now when it comes to this team because they haven't won a game in like 3 weeks, and I get it, but I mean, there's no need for us to be sitting up here talking about things that should be fixed, that shouldn't be fixed, and there's other things like ball security, being able to sustain the same level of momentum throughout the totality of the game. I think that would be beneficial to the Saints. Hey, TJ, I think we never made the playoffs starting 1-3. To my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen them do that. I seen 1-2. That's when they went on an 8-game winning streak a couple of years ago, back in 2017. But no, I have not seen that. And statistically, that's teams that start 1-3 don't end up making the playoffs. Playoffs are practically over over at this point. Let's see. I already canceled my tickets for the Bucks versus Saints game. Waste of goddamn money to see that. Bush Gardens is where it's at. Man, look, don't jump out the window yet, man. I mean, we still got to support this team. We still got to, it's not gonna always be easy, but I mean, you got to stick with your squad. All I'm saying is, even with the special teams playing bad, firing Will Lutz, in my opinion, ain't there. Who talking about firing Will Lutz? You firing Will Lutz because he didn't make a 61-yard field goal, but he made a 60-yard field goal. I hope ain't nobody saying that, man. I hope ain't nobody saying like this man made a 60-yard field goal and then was close, like inches away from making a 61-yard field goal. Like the fact that he even got that ball to that crossbar. Nah, bro. Nah, man, you missed a 60-yard. You missed a 60-yard field goal. That ain't nothing to be ashamed about at all. If we talking like 40-something yards, 30-something yards, yeah. But when we talking about 60-yard field goals, come on, man. The offense isn't consistent right now. They'll be fine, but can't wait too late. Well, they didn't wait too late this game. They didn't wait too late this game. They was in it the entire time. Dennis is too emotional and not focused on the whole team. I see us going 7-3 over the next 10 games. I like that optimism. I think that I honestly, looking at this game, I seen some things you can build on. I seen some things you can build on. My biggest issue is I don't want the New Orleans Saints to end up like Dan Campbell and the Lions. Last year, they were always in games. It was close. I mean, it was just sad. Like they lost like 9 games in a row, but they were like there in the very end. I don't want the Saints to end up being like that. Remember when we had a Hall of Fame coach and quarterback seemed like decades ago? Yeah, I remember that, but reminiscing ain't gonna help you this time. Pete showed up. Pete showed you how explosive and fast we can play today. Man, I think, look, I don't understand how anybody who has had issues with this offense come away from this game and still be like frustrated with the offense. Like these dudes stepped up today. If you was talking about they waited too late to get in games, then this was the game for you. You know what I'm saying? Because they changed it. You talking about late game, full quarter heroics, they ain't really have to work on it. They were consistent. They converted on third down. They were able to run the football. Andy Dalton was able to make some throws to some guys like, Troutman and Johnson and Olave and, Callaway. Like this was the game. Like, so if you had issues about the offense, this wasn't the game. It's rather, you just didn't want to see it. Maybe it was the person that was actually throwing the ball you didn't want to see doing it. But this team offensively played their best game all season long, regardless of if you want to accept that or not. Hey, TJ, great game. They will still make the playoffs, need to cut back penalties and turnovers. Well, I hope you're right. I hope I hope they can turn it around. Roger said Murray is the key. Yeah, Murray was toting that mail. You definitely was toting that mail. Let me see. Jameis interception cost you guys 2 games, and you want him to start again. Sometimes that's how it happens. Ball just don't bounce your way. Yeah, this was one of them games. Literally, the ball didn't bounce our way. I got all these receipts. Offense looked better. the game needs to revolve around the run. Damn the quarterback at this moment. I agree. This is a running football team. When Dalton threw that finger licking dot to Olave, I thought we were going to over. Yeah, he definitely threaded the needle in that. I mean, 3 defenders right there. And shouts out to Olave with the clutch catch, man. Too many flags against us, to say the least. Vikings got 5 first downs from penalties. Saints got 0. Yeah, because that means the Vikings just that much disciplined than the Saints. Okay. We can still change the tide. The NFC style is still up for grabs. We have some leaders in the locker room. We just have to stay positive. Okay. The quarterback hasn't nothing to do with this loss. Nah, he ain't got nothing to do with this. Kept us in the game. Well, it bounced our way towards the line of scrimmage. Let's see. Yes, if he's healthy, yes, but Andy Dalton played well today. Olave going to be rookie of the year. Yeah, he's playing like it. This is an extremely disappointing season so far. Mark must have ticked off the O-line off. Nah, man, I just think that the decision making between Murray and Mark Ingram was just different, man. I mean, it just wasn't his day. I mean, Latavius Murray was finding it, and he was getting 5-6 yards a clip. And then Mark Ingram come in, he's stumbling on the ground, he getting 2 yards. He was frustrated because I mean, as a competitor, man, you don't want them dudes to be outshining you, especially a guy that just came on your team 2 weeks ago from the practice squad. I mean, off the street. ATJ, the best ability is availability, and man, Kamara hasn't been that the past few years. Your thoughts? Well, I think he's just dealing with that rib injury, man, and you don't want to, cause him like any lasting effects that can, have him out for the remainder of the season. But I just think the fact that you didn't play really with Jarvis, Mike Thomas was out. You had Chris Olave, you had Callaway. I mean, these guys stepped up, they made some plays. So I think that's a positive thing because that means that if something was to happen to these other guys, these guys will step up. So you had all these injuries, but they still were formidable and they still were there in the end. I mean, based on that injury report, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that was watching that was onlookers probably thought the Saints weren't even going to be able to score those many points. I don't know why, but my normal chats aren't sending. I'm not sure, man. Saints did make the playoffs with a 1-3 start in the 2000 Jim Haslett first year. Well, thank you for that, Jeffrey. I didn't have that information in front of me, so I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the research. Marshawn Lattimore just hasn't been the same, man. Man, bruh. Before this game today, Marshawn Lattimore has been on 3 of some of the best players. He been on Kyle Pitts. He was on CJ Moore. He was on Mike Evans. This man only before today, I think, the most he gave up was like 6 yards. And yeah, we going to try to talk about this man. Now, come on, Deal. I like you, man. I love you. And I appreciate that, man. But come on, man. We cannot be prisoners of the moment, man. Like, this dude has really been playing well, like all pro well, like really well throughout the entire season. Like, let's not let this particular performance versus a really good wide receiver, one of the best young players in the entire league, like, let's not jump to conclusions here. Like, the dude is playing like really good football, and it happens. Like, come on, man. Like, we can't do this. We cannot do this, man. We can't do this, man. We cannot allow a bad performance to dictate like who this person actually is, man. I gotta hit the hell no to the no. Hell to the no. That ain't it, man. Like, seriously, like this man been locked down all season long. I'm not. We cannot be prisoners of the moment. It's like somebody telling me if P. Warner had a bad game or he missed a tackle. Man, P. Warner, that's the reason why we should have kept Quan Alexander. See, this is the stuff right here. Like, I just be telling people, like, Man, we got to be careful, man, with some of these takes. LOL, I see what you mean by prisoner of the moment, TJ, with that Lattimore comment. Yeah, man. I'm like, come on, man. This man's like one of the best cornerbacks in the league. This probably was like his worst game. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to have games like this going forward. But, man, we gotta put this thing into context, man. That's Justin freaking Jefferson out there. So there are no moral victories, penalties, coaching, turnover. This team will be in football purgatory if they don't get it together. Yeah, that's true. Dude sound crazy with that comment. Justin Jefferson is a stud. He didn't win every route. It was a W. Yeah, I mean, look, dude made some plays. You know what I'm saying? He made some plays against Lattimore. But, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I still would not trade Marshawn Lattimore for any other cornerback in the league. He's that good, in my opinion. Bashing all that off one game. Maybe you prefer Fred Thomas. Absolutely not. To the fan who just made that Lattimore comment, what have you been smoking? Okay, man. Let's chill out on deal, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's an emotional game. It was a heartbreaking loss. Like, let's ease up off him, man. Let's ease up off him. But that's we got to be careful about not being prisoners of the moment. We gotta be careful with that. Somebody was on Big Q's podcast said the same thing, talking about they should release Lattimore. Well, I don't think that's the way to go. Okay, that's definitely prisoner of moment. Yeah, TJ, that Lattimore comment is exactly what you were talking about earlier. Some Saints fans, yeah, man, that's pretty. I definitely, I totally 100% disagree with that. But let's get into, like, we're gonna read some of the scores that they have going on right now around the NFL. The Browns and the Falcons are tied at 10 at halftime. You got the Cowboys ahead of the Commanders 12-7. You got the Seahawks all over the Lions 24-9. The Saints have to play the Seahawks next Sunday. The Chargers are beating up on the Texans 24-7. You got the Titans and the Colts. The Titans are up 24-10. You got the Chicago Bears and the Giants. The Giants are up 14-6. The Jacksonville Jaguars are all tied up with the Philadelphia Eagles. And you have the Jets, as of right now, beating the Steelers 10-3. So those are the scores of some of the games that are going on in the early window of the NFL. We got some later games. You got the Panthers against the Cardinals. You got the Green Bay Packers against the Pats. The Raiders versus the Broncos. And tonight on NBC, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So a replay of the Super Bowl that happened a couple of years ago. You're right, TJ. I apologize, but the comment definitely got him put into the keep the receipts category. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I just think that it's an emotional game. We all just trying to figure out what's going on with the team, what the hell happened, and but let's not just get too carried away here. 368 people watching this right now. I ask that you hit the like button. I really appreciate that. Look at this. Seahawks trying to get ready, man. It's too much for the heart and body and mind. We're good still. NFC is still wide open. Nice receipts chosen. Saints are garbage. And he said it with a fleur de lis on that thing. Okay. All right. This man says CJ Moore. I mean, CJ Moore is not a bad wide receiver. I ain't saying he top 10, but he the top receiver on his team. And we seen CJ Moore make plays against the Saints in the past, unless we just looking at it right now. But I don't know. So far, this is what I heard. Fire Will Lutz. Lattimore ain't the same. Mark Ingram washed. We were bringing Winston back after y'all cried for Dalton to start. Tank for a first rounder we don't have. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of illogical thinking on this show today, but I'm just gonna chunk that up to the heartbreaking loss. TJ, who you rooting for if your son grows up to play for the Falcons? The Falcons? The Falcons? I mean, I'm a father first, so yeah, I'm rooting for I will become a Falcon fan. Yeah, if Paxton chose to play football and he was be drafted to the Falcons, I'm a Falcon fan. I mean, I wouldn't think twice about it. Anybody that wouldn't, I would question your parents. If you ain't gonna choose your kid over a game, nah. I'm a Falcon fan. We all know TJ meant DJ Moore. Who I say, CJ Moore or DJ Moore? Well, DJ Moore. Okay, yeah, DJ Moore. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. How awful. Yeah, I mean, I instead of a D, I said a C, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Is Trevor Penning coming back? I'm pretty sure he will in the next couple of weeks. I think Dalton looked good, best offense of the season. I agree with that. I respect you honestly, but that hurts to hear. I feel you though. Look, I mean, like seriously, if your son gets drafted to a team that you don't like, you're not gonna root for that team. Like, man, I'm sorry. Yes, I will become a Falcon fan. If Paxton was to grow up and play football, or God bless us to have more, kids in the future, and they grow up to, one of them end up playing for the Falcons, yes, I am going to root for the Falcons. If they play for the Cowboys, I will root for the Cowboys. I'm a father first, man. I'm a father first. TJ, what would you think about the devaluing of the running back? In my opinion, you should draft more running backs instead of less. Well, look, they definitely being devalued by the Saints. I can tell you that, because obviously they need to run the football and they're not doing it. So they definitely being devalued. TJ, you ever thought about doing a live show during the game? I think you'll be dope. Nah, man, because I like to watch the game and pay attention to what I see before I come and talk to you all. And I'm a fan too, man. So, I go through the motions just like yo. So I don't know, maybe one day, but I like to stay focused to know what I saw in the game. Andy Dalton won a playoff game. What about Jameis? We still comparing these dudes. He gonna support his son, but deep down inside to his core, TJ gonna be talking that high ish about them. Well, look, I mean, from a like a fan standpoint, I'm a Saint fan. From a fatherly standpoint, I'm gonna be a Falcon fan. So, but yeah, I mean, you gotta have allegiance to your kids first. I root for my kids to succeed, not necessarily the team. My cousin was a running back for the Falcons. I rooted for him when he played for the Falcons. Look, man, I love football, but not as much as I love my son. I'm dedicated to the football, talking football, but not as dedicated as I am as a father. And I just feel like it's like what Archie Manning, in Super Bowl 44. They asked him who he was rooting for. He said he rooting for the Colts. He said if anybody else feels his way, he said then they must not be a good parent. Like, I'm rooting for my son. I don't care what nobody say. Make sure y'all keep that basement clean. Let's see. And make sure that y'all we'll make sure we clean it up, because y'all gonna be in that thing for years to come. So enjoy this ride that y'all on, Vet Love, and enjoy that ride. Like, talk y'all stuff right now, because y'all gonna need that. I'm telling you. I'm happy, like the Bucks. I'm glad y'all grandstanding. I'm glad y'all talking all that noise, but y'all gonna need these comments. I'm telling you, from when y'all go back into the basement, when you realize the same thing that the same thing we all know, that once y'all quarterback Tom Brady leaves, y'all not gonna be nothing at all. Y'all not gonna be anything. So enjoy it while y'all can. I don't feel bad about saying that at all. Like, and I throw deep down inside, y'all know that y'all ain't gonna be nothing. But it feels good to be on top right now. But talk that noise when y'all dealing with that same type of adversity. I noticed I didn't see y'all before the Brady sign. So enjoy it while you can. Keep those comments coming. Build them up. But at the end of the day, just remember, you're going to need them. So you can talk about the basement. Yeah, we'll clean it up for y'all. We'll make it nice and clean, because y'all going to be down there for years to come. Dalton is a better choice and a better play caller with his style. Look it up. Make sure we keep the basement clean for them. Yeah, I mean, look, they on top right now, but I'm telling you, once Brady leaves, that's a wrap. Nobody will care. Let me see. It's DJ, bro. Okay. All right. DJ Moore. Who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? Like, I don't follow Carolina like that. I mean, I know who he is, but I appreciate the correction. Let's see. Keep that same energy when Brady leaves and y'all go back to being nothing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, they really think that, like, the sad thing about these Buccaneers fans is they feel like the success that they have is sustainable for years to come. And it's not. It's not. Nobody will care about y'all. Like, soon as Tom Brady, like, wave and says goodbye for the final time, all those primetime games gonna be gone. All those top segments on all these shows gonna be gone. Like, they really think that this stuff is gonna be sustainable. I'm happy for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you've been trash all these years, it's good to be on top. It's good. Like, all those heartbreaking, like, seasons and being trash and being in the basement, like, you finally come out, feel good, right? They finally out the bomb shelter and now they want to talk. Okay. But keep that same energy when y'all be going through these same hardships for years to come. That's all I'm saying. TJ, what does the TPPN network do? They post videos. The Pigskin Podcast Network is a bunch of podcasts. It represent all 32 teams. They also focus on, like, there's the Hockey Podcast Network, the Basketball Podcast Network. They're all a part of Maze Media Labs. And Pigskin Podcast Network, like I said, they focus on all 32 teams. Each team is represented, and I'm a representative for the Saints. So, but yeah, I mean, if you follow any other team, there's a podcast for you on the Pigskin Podcast Network website. Bro, if I'm on defense, me and my offense gonna have a problem real soon. Carmichael's system better fits Dalton style of play, Murray and Kamara in the backfield. I agree with that. You would definitely do more changes. Would do more changes with Jameis as the quarterback versus Andy Dalton as the quarterback. If you want to run it like Drew did for the most part. In my opinion, the D-line has been playing passive all year. Not this game, they wouldn't. Not this game. Not this game. They, for the most part, they bottled up Dalvin Cook. They got pressure on Kirk Cousins. Nah, this is not the game to talk about the D-line. TJ, his mama called him CJ. I'm gonna call him CJ. CJ, DJ, we know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. I don't care. Why are we still? No. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We can hope if the Falcons, Bucks, and Panthers lose today, then we not in the bad shape when it comes to the division. I can't see all three of them losing. Tulane made my Friday. LSU made my Saturday. Saints ruined it all on Sunday. Yeah. Can't have them all, right? If LSU is winning a bunch, the Saints have a down season. If the Saints winning, then LSU have a down season. We can't never really just have it all, can we? Forget about the distractions, Bucks fans. Let's see. Bruh, when Tom retires for 40 days, it was real quiet. You didn't even see the Tampa fans. The media wasn't even talking about y'all. And that tells you everything you need to know. I mean, get yourself prepared for that. Get yourself prepared for what's pretty obvious. I'm going to read a few more, and then we're going to get up out of here, folks. TJ, a team that hasn't been relevant for 15 plus years, has the nerve to talk. Last time y'all did anything, it was on the PBS channel, like the Cowboys Super Bowl. Man. That play, Jefferson face mad Lattimore and got the call against Lattimore, though. That was Adam Thielen. Right? I don't think that was Justin Jefferson. Never said Lattimore wasn't good or even great anymore because he still is a great corner, but he has had a historic year. I should have clarified. Yeah, I mean, he is having a historic year, but I mean, I want like I just deal. Look, man, you know I love you, man. I appreciate you always being on the show. That's why I'm telling people like I get it. You're upset, you're frustrated, and this wasn't the best game for him. But I also wanted to be able to put it into context. You know, the fact that it was just a bad game for him. I mean, we know, man, Steph Curry, you know, he automatic from three, but every now and then, you know what I'm saying, he can't hit the back of a barn door. So it happens, you know what I'm saying? I don't think this is an indication of who Marshawn Lattimore is. So when Brady announced his retirement earlier this year, the Bucs Nation all of a sudden went silent. They need to go ahead with all that BS. You're right. They will go back to being the Yuccaneers. Oh man, I'm just saying, man, enjoy it while you can, and you got to be very careful about how you approach this. It's easy, you know what I'm saying. It's easy to talk about how good it feels on the top, you know what I'm saying, like you when you there. But what happens like when you have this level of adversity? Will you be able to like, sustain that same type of love that you have? I mean, we'll see. That's all on the OC though. Just because Jameis has a big arm doesn't mean you have to call top down reads okay. Oh man. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, look, Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston. Look, we just want consistent quarterback play. But let me go ahead and read off some of the stats that took place in the game. What we have from the New Orleans Saints: Andy Dalton was 20 of 28, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. He was sacked twice, and he had a quarterback rating of 108. Pretty good, man. Pretty good day. Latavius Murray, 11 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. He had a long of 10 yards. You have Mark Ingram, 10 carries for 30 yards. Taysom Hill, 5 carries, 21, and Andy Dalton scrambled for 3 yards. Then you have Chris Olave, 4 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Marquez Callaway had 3 catches for 53 yards. Troutman, 3 catches for 37. Juwan Johnson, 3 catches for 33. Traquan had 1 catch for 18. Ingram had 3 catches for 13. Latavius Murray had a catch for 8. And Jarvis Landry had 2 catches for 7 yards. The Saints had 2 fumble loss, one by Andy Dalton on a sack, and also Deontay Hardy on a return kick. Leading in tackles was Marshawn Lattimore with 10. He had 7 solo, followed by P. Warner with 9. Demario Davis with 9. Paulson Adebo, who was very physical today, he had 7 tackles. You had Tyrann Mathieu with 7 tackles. He also had the interception. You had Cam Jordan with 6 tackles and a half of a sack. JT Gray, who had a really good special teams play, got down the field, made a stop, a little bit before the return to hit the 20. Shai Tuttle had 3 tackles. Street, he had 2 tackles. Bradley Roby with 2. PJ Williams, who left the game with an ankle injury, had 2 tackles. Payton Turner, 2 tackles. Sorensen had some playing time. He had a tackle. Chase Hansen had a tackle. Davenport with a half a sack and a tackle. And then you had Caden Ellis with a tackle as well. So that's your rundown for the New Orleans Saints for this game as far as the stats. Let's see if we can go to some of the team stats that happened on today. For the New Orleans Saints, they had a total of 19 first downs. They ran 57 total plays. They rushed at a total of 111 yards to the Minnesota Vikings 81 in the red zone. This was pretty impressive. The Saints were 3 of 3 in the red zone, so that's an improvement, right? But what you don't like is the 2 fumble losses. Okay, in time of possession, the Minnesota Vikings had the ball for 32 minutes and 13 seconds, and the Saints had the ball for 27 minutes and 47 seconds. So that's your rundown of the New Orleans Saints game today. I know it was very discouraging, but the Saints, they got no time to lick their wounds, man. They got to go out here and they got to fight back, and they have a big matchup against the Seattle Seahawks in the Superdome next week. So hopefully they can get a win because they definitely desperately need one, especially if they playing a team in the NFC. Austin, thank you very much for the 199. Says great podcast. Have a good one, man. Fans wild though. TJ, you heard the Eagles fans want to dump CJ Gardner-Johnson back to us. I don't know why. Nah, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that at all. Did Marcus May play? He did not. All right. He did not play. But thank you all so much for being here. I ask that you hit the like button. This has been the State of the Saints podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also subscribe and follow on Facebook, facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast, and previous episodes available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Till next time, all I got to say is